I just got back from Greece, and let me just preface this by saying this is all I brought. I had a lot of layovers because we do that budget travel life here on Travel and Ledger. So I fit everything into my backpack and my carry-on. This is all that I brought, and this is all that I brought back with me as well. If you just want to watch this to show you what I packed versus what I actually used, because a lot of times we want to pack all these things and have all these outfits that we maybe wear one time, and then as we're repacking, we're like, why did we bring so much stuff? And hopefully that will help you pack for your trip. So first off, let's start with the backpack. I keep this really empty. This is where I figure I will put all of my souvenirs for the trip. So I kind of put everything into my carry-on, and then this guy is just for extra stuff like souvenirs, like this sweatshirt, for example. So on the way home, I'll be real with you, I kind of ran out of space. This is pretty heavy, so it takes up a lot of space. So I ended up just wearing it on the plane. If you're doing a long flight, definitely suggest a neck pillow, even if you're just kind of propping your head up, because the thing is, on an 8-hour flight, you're kind of sitting in this like awkward position. Even though you can't feel the force of the plane, you know, you're still somewhat like being propelled. Your neck will get kind of stiff after a while. So it's nice to just have the pillow, even if you're not sleeping, just to kind of have something to release the tension of your neck. So I usually wear it kind of backwards, and that way I just kind of prop my head up. Sometimes I'll mix it around, I'll wear it in the back. So when you're watching a movie, you can kind of lean to one side, lean to the other side, that kind of thing, instead of just being upright for the whole trip, and like your neck just gets really stiff, trust me. Now, when you fly, some of the airlines, you're gonna have to take your liquids out. They want your stuff in Ziploc bags. So we have our handy dandy Ziploc bag. These are the things I definitely used. You definitely need lotion. I like Bath and Body Works. I always get their free mailers, so this is another freebie. I'm signed up for their email list. I get a free travel size item every month. Their perfume, again, travel size. It's nice just to freshen up, especially at an airport or a long flight, but also throughout the day. And then I wear contacts, so we got our handy dandy contact solution. That is a must for me. I have some souvenirs. These are like holy water vials. We went to the Virgin Mary house. That was really cool, so make sure you stay tuned for that video. I'll show you one of them. So they were just little like holy water vials. Oh, and actually the Virgin Mary fell off, so I'll have to glue her back on. There she is. I also bring nail polish on a trip because, you know, it's going to chip after a while. Like, as you can see, it's all pretty chipped up. I had to reapply maybe like twice. And then I had mouthwash. I have travel tissues. And you always want to bring headphones. Really suggest having them with the jack, because you could see it's a straight jack here versus the bent one, because sometimes the jack is in the armrest and it's kind of hard to clip in when it's sideways. So the jack always fits in anything. Again, it will look like that. It does have a Bluetooth accessible if you carry your like earbuds or whatever. But again, that's going to drain your battery, and some flights, they don't have a plug-in. So keep that in mind. Now getting into the actual backpack. When you fly, generally speaking, you get one personal item. So my personal item will be my backpack, and then the carry-on obviously is the carry-on. So I just put the headrest, as you saw, onto my backpack. They don't really care. And then for my purse, for this trip, I wanted to have something that was kind of versatile. So this one has like a front pocket here and a back pocket. It's got a zip pocket, and then it has this like secret middle area that I really liked. But the idea was throughout the trip, as I'm walking, you know, my wallet is in the front compartment. Here's some souvenirs. I stashed them in there. And then I have my lip gloss. And then I had carried around my phone charger because I take so many videos. So, you know, that was draining my battery. And then, of course, you're going to need the universal plug for Europe. It's a 2-prong. So this was really easy. It was super cheap too. It was like $10. And it came in really handy. You just literally flip up the prong and plug this into this. Good to go. Another souvenir. I had my sunglasses in here so they don't get scratched up. So sunglasses are a must in Greece. That sun is intense. I had a pen in here because you never know when you want to write something down. My iPhone earplugs. Napkins from somewhere. I was getting a really runny nose from the salty sea air. The idea was I was going to be collecting souvenirs, so I kept the souvenirs here, and then I kept my phone in here and the plug, so it was a good size. I also had my water shoes in here at one point because we were going from the city to the beach. So I had my water shoes in here and a bikini. So then I just changed in and out of that and it fit right in this purse. So instead of wearing, you know, like a satchel, like a lot of people do the crossbody bag, I suggest doing something a little more thicker because it's more versatile and you're able to do more things versus having to go back to the room, change, then go out. This way you can just carry it with you wherever you go. Because Greece is full of water. You want to be in the water as much as possible. So you also want to go eat. So you're going to need 2 different outfits. They don't really let you in if you're in a swimsuit. So just keep that in mind. Next up in the backpack, we had my makeup. This is my makeup bag. My passport. My extra glasses and an extra pair of contacts. If you wear contacts, it's always good to bring your glasses and an extra pair of contacts just in case. And then we've got most of my souvenirs. So these are all just like souvenir bags. I'll make that a separate video so you guys can see what souvenirs I got this trip. But for example, see how I got this sweatshirt on vacation? It's a lighter material versus this one was heavier. So I wore this one just because it takes up less space. This was my original sweatshirt that I brought. It's just kind of like a thin sweatshirt for the plane ride. I always get cold. So when I'm on the plane, I always bring pants and a sweatshirt because I freeze. Some of the flights, they do give you a blanket, but it really just depends. I had a journal, which I didn't use. I also was there for a wedding and I forgot to give my friend her wedding card. So this will be going in the mail as soon as I get a minute to do that, which I already forgot about it again. So I'm happy I'm doing this video because otherwise this would have just sat in my bag for like a month. I still wear masks on the plane, especially long flights, because that is so many people. And the last thing you want to do is be sick for your time on vacation. So I always wear a mask to make sure I don't get sick on the flight. Oh, this was all my paperwork in case I didn't have internet reception somewhere for some reason, or if my eSIM didn't work. This way I had it all printed out. Just in case, like my insurance stuff, my flight information, hotel reservations, the cruise reservation, all that stuff is in here. This is the cruise pamphlets. I kept them as a souvenir. Also partly to remember what I did. I do so much stuff, it's hard to keep track. So it's nice to have that to go back to that you can keep track of. I was traveling multiple countries. While I was in Greece, I also went to Budapest and Portugal. So I had to do like check-in for this flight on this day. I had to check in for this flight on that day. I had to do different forms and things, make sure I was had all the paperwork and things ready. So the main thing I used it for was remembering to check in for flights though, because I had so many flights throughout this trip. But I didn't even use this much. It was like 2 pages. I probably should have just written it in my phone and kept it that way, but that's why I have this. Then I also had this guy, a portable stand so I can film myself walking around, which came in handy all the time. That's another reason I had this bag, because it fits into the bag. So that worked out really good. Again, I have a lot of paperwork because I save for memories. Oh, you know what? I brought a face mask to use on the flight. I used one of them on the way there, not on the way back. And then I had my water shoes. These were actually really cool. They were only $7 on Amazon. And I liked them because they were a nude color, so they don't like stick out really. It just looks like you're walking. But you definitely need these in Greece, water shoes. Those rocks are jagged in the water, so I'm happy that I had those. And then we also had wet ones, because you should always wipe down your airplane tray. Sure, they do the whole misting thing, but you always want to wipe down your airplane tray because who knows the last time that got cleaned. More souvenirs. And a random dirty sock. Oh, and I used my Shein bag for my bathing suit. You know, when you order off Shein, they have a bunch of different sizes. So I used this for my bathing suit, and then I also had one for the water shoes. So I just folded them up, put them in here, and then put them in this bag. And that worked out really good when they were wet. And I had a liner in here for the flight. That also took up a lot of space in my bag because I had my lady time on this vacation. So you're going to see a lot of things in the next segment of my carry-on that I did not even get to wear because I was, you know, that time of the month. All right, I'm pretty sure I got all of my intimate things out of the bag before I show you. I apologize if you get a flash of something you shouldn't. So the nice thing about this bag is it has an expander. So when I was first packing, I'll show you the pile of clothes that it was here. But it's got a little expander here, so I would just unzip that, if I can find it. Here it is. So I just unzip this, and then once everything's in the bag and it's zipped up, I will zip that around and it kind of shrinks it down for you. So I like that feature in a suitcase. If you're ever looking for a suitcase, make sure it has that expander option. I don't think I used any of these this trip. Oh, this was a different handle for my bag so I could make it look fancy or just plain. This is a mix of souvenirs and stuff I actually brought. Souvenirs I'll put on the side because that'll be a different video. But what I did bring was sleeping clothes. These shorts were the best purchase ever. They just kind of went with everything. They were the perfect length for no chafing, as we talked about in the other video. So these were a lifesaver. These were really great shorts. And since I had my lady time, I wore these pretty often. Souvenir, souvenir. This was my concoction of different things. I'll add Dramamine to this too. Since I was on the cruise, I brought Dramamine because I didn't know if I was going to get like seasick. This was my first cruise, so you never know. I had my handy dandy mouth tape because I'm a snorer. So my roommate loved that, my friend that I was traveling with. Then we have, oh, I have Q-tips in here and like flossers, floss pickers. Souvenir earrings. Double-sided sticky tape for some of my shirts so that I didn't gape open on them. Tylenol because we had our lady time, but also in case I got a headache from the plane or from the pressure on the boat or whatever. This one is allergy medicine because you never know if you're allergic to somewhere until you get there. And the worst part is having, you know, watery eyes and everything. And then I had Benadryl in case I had an allergic reaction to something because it's always good to just keep in your bag just in case you start having like some sort of swelling or something off of something you've never tried before. So that was my little medicine bag there. Then we had souvenir. I brought 2 dresses to wear. Looking back, I really only needed the one because most of the stuff we were doing was off the boat. So I wore this one in Mykonos. And I debated wearing this one for the wedding, but then I felt weird because it was white. So I was like, you shouldn't wear white to a wedding. I know that is like an American thing. I don't know if it's a thing in Greece. But I decided not to wear this to the wedding. So then I only wore it one time. I only wore this, actually I wore this like 2 or 3 times. So this one was really pretty useful. This one, not so much. It was just a little too white for lady time. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to show anything if something happens. So I definitely suggest bringing at least one dress, but for the cruise ship, I thought I was going to be wearing more dresses than I was. But the reality was we were hardly even on the cruise ship because we did one island in the beginning of the day. Then midday, it was like you're wearing your bathing suit and getting a tan, maybe grabbing some lunch on the boat. And then you're off to the next island. And then you're like in the lounge just hanging out. So this was kind of my lounge outfit. It does get a little chilly on the boat. So the lounge outfit, I definitely wore a lot. This was kind of my nighttime wear. And again, I just wore this multiple times. More souvenirs. I used a long sleeve shirt when we went to Turkey on the cruise because for the Virgin Mary house, you need to have your shoulders covered. So I wore my jeans and this. I think I wore it one time in Budapest as well because it was a little chilly out, but I needed this for the covered shoulders. This outfit I wore a couple of times, but I could have just gone with one pair of jeans and kept wearing them. I did wear this again like 2 times maybe, but again, I could have just worn the shirt with the jeans. This was the dress I wore to the wedding. One timer. This shirt I wore one time, I think, but it was easy to fit in the bag. So I would say do as many shirts as you want because they don't really take up much space, but shorts and pants take up a lot of space. These I only wore one time because again, lady time and they're kind of see-through, so I didn't need any accidents. Should have probably thought that through, as I said. And then this I wore a lot. This was kind of it started off as my travel t-shirt, but I realized I needed more t-shirts in my mix because since we were bouncing around and we were on like mopeds and traveling and on and off the beach, and you're not really wearing something like this to the beach. You just want something that will like cover you up and, you know, you're starting to burn on your shoulders and stuff. So I wore this a lot more than I thought I would. And then I started buying t-shirts. So then I started wearing some of the souvenir t-shirts. This is a souvenir. I got a lot of souvenirs. Like I said, I left a lot of room for souvenirs because I knew I would be souveniring a lot this trip. So I guess I fit more souvenirs in this bag than I thought I would have. Souvenirs. This I didn't use at all. I just brought it as like a little shawl cover up in case I got cold wearing the dress. Didn't need it at all. It was hot. I thought I would go to the gym on vacation. That was hilarious. Did not use these at all. Shouldn't have even packed it. This was a cute top I brought. Oh, don't need to see those. So basically what I did with my dirty stuff is it was making this too puffy. So I just kind of stuffed it inside shoes and things. So I definitely suggest you bringing a pair of flats. These were pretty versatile. They're just kind of like shiny sandals. So I wore those around a lot, but definitely walking shoes. You're going to need walking shoes in Greece. These were my main walking sandals. Again, we did hikes. We went to the beach, all sorts of things. So these were very versatile when it came to going to the beach, going on hikes, walking around the city. So if you have like a nude pair of sandals, they kind of work with anything. So I would suggest getting like a walking pair. I mean, these are like Columbia brand. So they're made for walking and hiking because you are doing steps in Greece. These I wore one time to the wedding. But of course you need heels for the wedding. Souvenirs. I brought 2 sleeping shirts. I just ended up using the same sleeping clothes the whole time. So I probably only needed 1 pair of sleeping clothes. And then this was a cover up for going on deck. Didn't use it at all. Honestly, I just threw those shorts on and that top most of the time. This was basically like my go-to outfit for on deck because it was just like a t-shirt and shorts. You know, you just throw this on. And it wasn't like a resort. People were literally just walking around with shorts and a t-shirt on. I can't wear this to lunch and then go upstairs onto the pool deck. You know what I mean? Like you have to wear clothes to go to lunch. So that's why this became my like go-to thing. I was coming from a resort mentality where at the resort you can wear like a cover up and then you can go still eat in the different buffets and stuff. But this was more of a strict dress code where you actually need actual clothes. Then we've got Souvenirs. What's left of my lady things. Sports bra, didn't use it. I've got my curling iron, definitely use this. Although a lot of the times I was just kind of throwing my hair up because it's so windy on the boat. Even if you wear your hair down, it's just blowing all over the place. Then I had my 2-in-1, so we kind of use this to put some body into my hair and a little curl. I brought way too many socks, but I didn't think about I wouldn't be wearing my shoes as much. I did bring a pair of walking shoes. They're around here somewhere. So I would walk around in these, or I also wore these for the flight because my feet get cold. So I definitely didn't use as many socks as I thought I would. This was my like dirty bag for like dirty socks and underwear and things. And the thing with the swimsuits, I brought 3 swimsuits and that was a good amount because the issue is you hang it up to dry, but it's not very dry. You need like a dry swimsuit if you're getting off the boat to go to the island. You don't really have somewhere that it like dries completely. We hung it up in our shower basically to dry, and it took like 24 hours to dry, where a lot of times if I'm at a hotel, I'll just put it on the balcony and it dries in an hour because of the heat. So you're in the air conditioning, so it just doesn't dry as fast in the air conditioning. So I found that 3 swimsuits was a good amount. And these are socks. Leftover tampons. And then my toothbrush got thrown in there somehow. So that's basically everything that I used. Pack as light as you can, and you can always buy a souvenir and wear that. T-shirts and shorts were a go-to in Greece if you're trying to decide if you want to wear dresses or not. It's just so windy. If you're wearing a dress and if you're hiking up these stairs, a dress is just not going to really cut it for you. Mykonos was the only place I would say definitely you could wear a dress. Maybe Santorini you could wear a dress. But a lot of the other islands, it's just so windy and you're traveling around. It's hard to wear a dress. For me personally, I don't know. You do whatever you want to do. That's just my opinion, and I hope this helps you pack and it helps give you an idea of stuff that you will actually use versus what you want to bring. And if you have a carry-on, you can fit a lot of stuff in it. As you can see, this whole pile of things is this all fit into my carry-on and my backpack. So you can really get versatile with it and fit a lot of things into something that you thought you couldn't. I have a lot more videos coming for you, so make sure you hit that plus and stay tuned for those. I'll give you my whole cruise experience, my whole time in Budapest, Portugal, Greece, and all the fun that I had traveling all over the place. If you haven't watched it already, go back and watch what I was thinking about packing for Greece in my Shein haul for Greece. It was a fun video. I had a lot of cute outfits, but as I said, only a few of them made the cut. So I made really good choices in that matter because I definitely would have worn the other outfits. They wouldn't have worked. I'll also have some videos coming about how much my souvenirs cost, so you have an idea of what to put aside for souvenirs. So hopefully that video will help you out as well. And I'll have videos of my whole experience. If you're thinking about taking a cruise, if you're thinking about going to Greece, which islands to go to, and my experiences. It's going to be a series, 5 hours in Mykonos, 5 hours in Santorini, what you can get done. And I will see you in that video. Otherwise, I talk budget travel all the time. Check out my other videos. I've got tons of information for going to Vegas, New York, resorts, and all over the world. I'll see you there.